What's up, guys? This is Tabletop Vibes, and today we're going to talk about my top 5 games in 2024. And so they're in no in particular order. I was just like, let's talk about the top games that I've played in 2024, at least in my collection with my friends that we continually keep bringing back to the table. Hope everybody's Christmas was super great and bright. Unfortunately, on my side, we were a little bit sick, so thankfully we're all recovering from that. New Year's is coming up super quick. This should be out before the end of the year, because this is still in 2024. And so, yeah, one of these games I've already pretty much talked about, which I'm excited about. It's actually not out yet, but I got to play it in 2024, and it might be in my 2025 list. And so let's just dive into it. I picked 5 games because 10 is long. There's probably way more games that I love in 2024. But this is more like the games that have hit my table the most in 2024, that are requested the most from my friends, my family, when we're gaming. So, except for this one. This is just I'm just really excited about this game. And so for number 1, 5, whatever you want to call it, Twinkle Twinkle by Allplay, Ammon Anderson, who made Gnome Hollow. This game is amazing. It's not out yet, so I guess it can't really be in 2024. I'm adding it, and it'll probably be in my 2025, which is exciting for all of you, regardless. So, again, this is like, obviously, Twinkle Twinkle. Stars, constellations, tile, bag pulling, even though you can see what's coming out. You pull these tiles out of a bag, you put them in a row, put some more in the bottom row to show what's coming next. Plays 4 players, and everybody is then taking their little character, putting it in a slot 1, 2, 3, or 4, where each tile is, and then depending on where you are picking in the tile, that's your turn order, and then you also can then see what's coming next, so you might want to pick turn order or what tile you're grabbing based off of what you want, which turn you want to go next in. So there's like this mind game, and then you're taking those tiles and then you're going to put them on your constellation board to then put them in different areas, and each kind of different tile does different things to score a different amount of points. At the end of when everybody fills their constellation board, you score up and see whoever has the most points wins. Twinkle Twinkle. It is great. The name does not do its service, in my opinion. And so I think this is coming out January, February 2025. But this is up there for me. It's really fun. The quality is great, component-wise. And the strategy is there. Has advanced tiles. And it's quick. So what more can you want for a board game? So yeah, Twinkle Twinkle, Allplay. That's my number 5, number 1, what have you. Alright? So one that I don't think people talk about a lot. At least I haven't heard of it talked about a lot. It's by Daily Magic Games. I just love the art. I also like the art. I can't remember who does the art. I'm not going to try to say the name. But Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. This game is dice. It's dice. That's what this game is. It's amazing. Fun, super great dice game. So, essentially, everybody picks a faction. Skeletons, bats, werewolves, war pigs. I don't know. There's a bunch of different factions you can play as. And it doesn't matter who you play as and which faction you play as. It's just fun. But you are then essentially putting out all these different dice, different colored dice, based off each different faction. And then if you get an expansion, there's extra dice, ghost dice. That's a whole other thing, which is awesome though. And you're putting all these dice out, and each turn you're going to different locations, drafting dice depending on the number of the die and the strength. You're trying to match it up to essentially strategy plans, they call it. And so the color of the dice, and then you're trying to make the most strength to make the most points, but you can't do that because you have locks on different areas. So you're trying to unlock your board to then boost your strength. And again, it's just really fun, good dice manipulation, cool little powers that you can do. Instant powers, right? Cards you can get ongoing cards, and you can get end game cards. And then they made like 2-3 different modular expansions, but we all just love it because it's beautiful. The art is really cool. It plays decently quick as well. There's good strategy, and a lot of my family and friends, we just all love dice. And you're not rolling these, well, you are rolling these dice essentially after you use them, but then you're not like rolling dice in this. They're just, you roll them out there and then they're set. So you're kind of drafting all these different dice, and it's a blast. Super great. Shadows of Valeria, Daily Magic Games. I think they do a couple other ones. This would probably be my favorite out of the series, I'd say, currently. Alright, brings me to my number 3, I guess you can say. Number 3? Okay, Office Dog Games. Rivers of Gold. This game is fantastic. Between the art and the components, I did upgrade more components, making more better resin pieces, upgrade cloth, and I would say lettuce, but it looks kind of like lettuce. I upgraded this guy, the ship the king sails down the Golden River, things like that. But essentially you're playing as different factions, and you're sailing up and down the River of Gold, building buildings, selling merchandise, taking on, like, I guess, contracts, again, to make the most money. We did put the metal coins up in this thing too. Oh, it is great. This box is now heavy. But it's just a really beautiful game. It's like a lightweight Euro game that is just, it's amazing. It's a blast to play. It's fun. And it's easy to teach, which is helpful. I mean, it's way more lengthy than Shadows Kingdom of Valeria and Twinkle Twinkle, but it is just amazing. Office Dogs Games crushed it with this. They have a really cool cosmic game coming out sometime in 2025. Super excited about. I talked about that in my PAX video, I believe. At least I showed it off, I'm sure. But yeah, Rivers of Gold. If you haven't had an opportunity to play it or check it out, do so. It is so worth the time. It's amazing. Alright, so those are some good ones. I'll save this one for last. Let's go with this big guy. Unconscious Mind. This was my most anticipated game. I have an honorable shout out anticipated game, but we'll go into why. This one, like this game, I was so excited for. They did Endless Winter. That's what I'm trying to figure out what they did. Fantasia Games does Endless Winter. Great game. This game, even better. It's beautiful. Look at this like artwork. You're essentially psychiatrist? No. Neurologist? Whatever, you're a psychologist, that's what it is. And you're essentially trying to treat patients' grief and heal them, cure them. The cards are beautiful. You have this amazing board. There's an expansion where you can have a familiar, essentially. Not a familiar. I mean, they are familiars. A cat, a dog. You're able to use their abilities. It's really cool. You have these little, like, beautiful components that you're moving around the board. I call them ink pot, but it's not an ink pot. Yeah, you could still tell I'm not feeling the best because I can't talk. But it's just a beautiful created game. There's a dark Nightmare expansion with an expansion Dark Nightmare board pieces, cards you can do. So you can when you're choosing new clients to get and characters, you can choose the nightmares and then to try to fix and cure them. You have a city board where you're sending out with Siegfried and your person, and you're trying to go around to the different city places and collect bonuses, and then you're in the inside like the college, I guess you can say, and you're trying to use your brain to think and solve these cases, which is just, it's amazing. The production quality is outstanding. I went all in, deluxe, everything. It's beautiful. The first time through, it can be a little bit like brain burny because you're trying to figure out the city board and things like that. But it's totally worth it. Like the way it plays, you're like essentially trying to take moments to trigger paths on your player board to like unlock abilities that you're like adding to it. It's great. I mean, again, I love Euros, so a lot of these are like Euro-ish. which again, that's my style. But yeah, this Unconscious Mind Fantasia games, amazing. And again, I can't wait to see whatever they put out next, which is going to be spectacular. So yeah, this game's crazy awesome. It's also decently chunky and big. All right, and my most this game that I'm about to show next, or my number one, I guess. We played it a ton. Oh my gosh, it's just so what's the word? It's so unexpected how awesome it is for the theme that it is. Which I guess I won't keep you in waiting anymore. But it's Windmill Valley by Board and Dice. You are planting tulips. Why? Well, how could planting tulips be so much fun? But it is. So you have your, I guess, garden board and all your windmills, and you're trying to get out and place all your windmills out. Each windmill is associated to a color of a tulip: red, white, yellow, violet, black. Did I miss any? No. And yeah, and so, but if you can't get out all your windmills, you're not going to score off those tulips to make the most amount of points. And you have contracts. There's a water dial that because you got to water your plants, and so the dam is getting water in. But you can raise the water level to make more victory points, and then you have to, if you push it too far, you have to bring the water level back down. And then you have this cool windmill board that you're essentially aligning the two on either side, and it moves around. And whatever that big red dial hits, that is the actions that you're taking. So you can go up to 4 times past through, but then you're also going through a season, which then you move to the next season. So you're trying to take actions and gauge how much you're pushing the windmill, and not to plant all the tulips that you need to be able to plant to then order to win the game and get your windmills out to have the most victory points. And then again, it is the most, it's just so good. It's so good and crazy how planting tulips is so much fun. I think I've told so many people about it. I know that Nashville board game guy, Steven, he just told me he picked it up. My brother-in-law picked it up. Everybody, I was like, you want to play a game about tulips? And they're like, well, I don't know why we're going to play a game about tulips. And you're like, just trust me, this is going to be a blast. But when I picked this up, I think we played 3 to 5 times in 2 days. We've got a lot of playthroughs of this. I love it. It's great. It's not hard to teach. It's not hard to learn, but there's a ton of strategy. And there's different strategies where you can try to push the end game, which is the end of 4 seasons, I believe. And that is something you can push for. But then if you push too hard and you didn't accomplish anything, someone could still beat you. Or you can play the slow game where you're just dragging your feet, taking one action at a time, whichever way they come. You're not jumping through things or trying to go faster or not. The other cool thing is you can upgrade your dial board to add different abilities and actions to take, and then you can combo different things. I mean, again, it's everything you want in a Euro game. That's not 7 hours, but it still plays fast, has great strategy. Again, Board and Dice, Windmill Valley, freaking probably game of the year 2024 for us in playing and just unexpected wowness. So if you haven't picked it up or played it, you gotta try it. It's amazing. So those are kind of my top 5 games that we've played this year that we just that's constantly to the table. A couple honorable mentions that always get asked to be played: Destinies by Lucky Duck Games. Most everybody loves Lucky Duck Games and Destinies. Other fun favorite is Wonderland Wars. That's always my favorite game. Nothing has beaten that out for me yet. Obviously, these are not 2024 games. They've been out for a while. But just games that are always requested to be played. The honorable mention that I haven't played yet that I'm most excited about for 2024, saw it at PAX U, SETI by CGE. My copy is coming. I am so excited to play. I've got to talk about it with CGE. I got to see it out on the table. I got to mess with it and touch it and feel it and all the things, move the dials around, get the whole full overview of it. It's beautiful. The colors are insane. The quality is amazing. I love everything about it because it's Euro again. And I love space. So that's my, like, I can't wait to have it in my, here on the table and to start playing it. I heard it's just amazing. So that's my 2024 best games of 2024, whatever you want to call it. End of the year, top games of 2024. I'm excited for 2025. There's a lot of good games coming out. A lot of new games that are probably going to be kickstarted, game founded, whatnot. Can't wait to see what's in store for 2025. But this has been my top games of 2024, or the 5 top games of 2024. Comment on what's your current number 1 game of 2024 or your go-to game of 2024. And let me know. I'd love to hear it and what you're most excited about coming up in 2025. As always, I'm TableTopVibes. I want to thank my sponsor, Noble Knight Games. And yeah, we'll check you next time. Check you in the new year. Keep subscribing, liking, commenting, and we'll be back with more videos, playthroughs, games. Always more games. It's great. Check you next time.